I'm going to talk you through Gutenberg, how it works, the different rules, and then talk you through the automated mod version. And then we'll start playing and have a go. Okay, so Gutenberg is a competitive game, trying to get as many points as you can. And you do that by collecting resources, managing your resources, and completing book orders. The theme of the game is that you own a printing press and you are trying to fulfill book orders, add the decorations, add the different bindings to make them as profitable and beautiful as possible. And the better you fulfill the orders, the more points you get. You also want to try and impress different patrons. The more patrons that you impress as well, the more points you get at the end of the game. So this is the board. And I'll talk you through the different zones and the different sections. So around the edge, you can see we've got our points tracker. And I really love how beautiful this points tracker is. It's got these lovely leaves, and then you've got little tile markers. These are supposed to be like when you put them on the printing press, the blocks that you'd use to actually make the letters or the numbers. And then they just continue to swap it all the way around with the big numbers. It's just really pretty. I don't often see so much effort put into the point scoring track, so that's really lovely to see. We then got our different things that we can collect on our turn. So we've got orders along the top. This is the book. This is what you need to print, and this is how you make it more beautiful. So this is your decoration side of the order. Then you've got inks that you need to collect. Here you have got skills that you can improve, which I will talk through in a little bit. Then here you've got some cogs, which you can take off to improve your printing house and give you extra bonuses and benefits. And then down here is the patronage track. And for the first couple of rounds, so this is my round marker. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For the first 2 rounds, I can only use this part of the patron track where I just increase a skill, or I get more guilders, or I get more ink, or I get a new order. Once this moves along, I can access these other areas. But again, I'll talk you through the patrons track in a moment. Let's look at what else the board has got. So we've got book orders, we've got the printing orders, the decoration orders. We've got more of the patron cards and more of the skill cards and lots more of the cogs, and they're great. I love a good component. I really like how the cogs, when they go together and you rotate them round, they do all twist and turn each other. So I think that's really fun. I'm very easily pleased. I like it when I can move things and they move other things. I'm like, this is brilliant. Very basic mechanic, but I love it so much. Down here, we have got our board. So in my player board, I have got my skills, which I improve. And then I've got space for my 3 cogs. And then at the bottom is a little bonus extra for when I improve my skills. The board, usually when it sits flat, you can see there's a little stick out bit here. Right at the bottom of your screen. So there's space for a book order here, and then below and below. So you've got space for 4 book orders next to your printing house board. And there's this bottom of a hexagon here, because you're assigned a printing house boss or a person that you are pretending to be, and their hexagon sits in there as their little reminder, and they all come with an extra bonus. I'll show you those at the end of the game, but we're not going to play through with them at the start. This is really fun. This is the initiative board. Those of you who've played any kind of tabletop RPG or who've watched our Pathfinder stream will know that your initiative is the order in which you do things. So in a tabletop, it's used for battles. So whoever's got the highest initiative goes first. In this, there are 5 things you want to complete on your turn, 5 actions you want to take, and depending on who has the most blocks in that line of initiative, they go first for that particular action. So it's a really fun way to vary up who goes first on each section of the board. Over here, I've got another initiative board going on, and I've got a couple of extra packs of cards. So I'll just show you them under the big screen, but I'll show you those a little bit later on. That's all for the solo player mode. This is the automated character that they've created to help make your life a little bit harder, so you can't just collect loads of points and boss the game. And then over here we have our little, I know they're meant to be like chests, but they come across as treasure chests to me. And inside each one, we've got some different components. So this one's my absolute favourite, and I'll show you on the face cam. We've got these little wooden blocks that you put into your printing press. We've got our guilders, which is the coins. I thought at first, when I kept reading the word guilders, I was like, oh, like people, like a guilder, somebody who works in a guild. And you get paid by getting more guilders, so you can do more work. And then I was like, no, I think these are coins. I think that might just be the name of the currency. So yeah, the guilders is your coins. They don't give you lots of points at the end of the game, but they do allow you to buy extra letter blocks for your printing press. And then we have all the inks. Now these come in a little bag, but it's got quite a tight top to it, quite a tight seal. And actually I found when I did a playthrough yesterday that it really slowed me down going in and out. So I'm going to be very good and still make sure I shuffle these and place them at random, but I've popped them into one of the boxes so they're easier to access. And then over here, we've just got some of the extra blocks and pieces that you need for your other characters. So that's what the board looks like. I'm now going to talk you through what each of the spaces does and how a turn works. Then I'll talk you through how the auto mod version works, and then we will get started and we'll have a go. And you can just enjoy the chill music. I'll enjoy the relaxing game. And we're just gonna, I don't know, have a great nap afterwards. So there are, let's see, how many stages? 5 stages to each turn, and there are 6 turns. I played this yesterday and it went really fast. So the first thing that happens is you turn your cogs, but I haven't got any, so I can't. So I'll have to show you how that happens next turn. But basically the cogs turn, they have 3 sections on them with 3 sets of rewards or bonuses. And so you turn it a whole section so that this time you can access a brand new reward. And by turning one of your cogs, as cogs do, it then turns the other cogs. Just mechanics are groovy. So the second thing you do is you plan. And this is where you need your initiative board. So you have to decide which of the 5 actions, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which one you really want to do, if there are any that you don't want to do, or if you're just not bothered, which order you do them in. So on your initiative board, you have 7, 8, 9 or 10 of these little black initiative cubes, and you spread them out in order of importance. So from what you can see from this current board I'm playing, I haven't got anything in pick up an order. I haven't got anything in pick up inks. So I wouldn't be able to do either of those actions because I haven't assigned any of my initiative blocks there. I've put 2 in gain a specialism, 1 in pick up a gear because I want a gear, but I'm not particularly bothered about picking first. And then I've put 5 in this patronage section because that's the thing I really want to do, and there's a specific reward I want. So I want to get in there first. I want to have the highest initiative for that action so that I can take the particular patron that I want before my opponent gets there first. So if you're not worried about which order you have or which inks you have, but you still want some, you just need to make sure you put a cube in those spaces. But if there's something you really, really want, if for example you really want this cog here, then you need to make sure that you put as many cubes into the cog that you can, and that way you're more likely to go first. when you do your planning, you have a little screen. So it's a 3D screen that sits in front of your initiative board so that nobody else can see what you are planning to do. So during the plan phase, everybody secretly uses their 3D screen, which, yes, James, and I love how well they've used the 3D screen. They've put all the instructions on the inside. So you don't actually need the rulebook too much because your sequence of play is here. It's got information about how to buy new types at the top. It's got what all the icons mean here. And it's even got information about how to rotate the initiative cube so that everybody has the correct number at the start of each turn. Everything in one handy little 3D screen with a funky dude on the back. Or dudette, depending on which screen you've got. I've got a funky dude with a very nice beard. So you do your planning stage behind your little screen. You wait till everybody's done. And then you go, oh, we all done, we all finished. Yeah, oh, exciting. Whilst going, nobody better take that gear from me. And then you pull your screen up, and everybody shows off their initiative boards. You can then see who's going to go first and when. Now this here is your first player token. It's huge. Like, it's the size of my glasses, and I have really big glasses. It's massive. It could be my ear. But this is your first player token. The first player has the fewest number of initiative cubes, so they have 7. The next person has 8, the next person has 9, and the last person has 10 if you're playing with 4 people. If not, it's just 7 and 8 for a 2-person game. I'm second player in this game, so I have 8 initiative cubes, and the first player has 7. So the third thing that happens is you actually do your actions. So following down the order on your initiative board, so we start with collecting a book order. You need to take one type order, one actual printing order, and one decoration order, put them together, and they are permanently bound together as an order. You can't at a later date go, oh, actually, I want this section with this decoration order because it'll be easier to fulfill. So you go, oh, well, I want this one, and I'm going to take this one. They then live together, and they sit in one of your 4 order sections around your board. You can take inks, and you choose one of the 2 piles of 3 to work with. The very first leftmost one is free. Then you have to pay 1 guilder and then 2 guilders, and you have to work from the left. So if I wanted this one here, because I needed 2 greys, I'd have to go that one for free, that one for 1, that one for 2. I'd spend 3 guilders and take all 3 inks. If I only took this 1 grey one, because I didn't need any other inks, and my opponent then had their turn, they could either pick this ink pile or still use this ink pile. They would just have the very first ink would cost 1. They don't get a free ink because I've already taken it. When you improve your specialities, when you improve your skills, these correspond with the skill tracks on your board. You see the 4 symbols along the bottom of each track. When you pick up a card, if it's got the typing, it improves the typing. If it's got the ink, it improves the ink. If it's got 2 inks on it, it improves the skill twice. And another thing you can do is if, for example, you really wanted to improve the binding, which is the little leather symbol. As you can see, neither of my cards have the leather symbol. I could just pick one up, and instead of improving these 2 skills, I can improve any skill of my choice just once. So you're on a negative because you're improving 1 less skill. So it's not as efficient. But if that's the skill you absolutely need to improve for your order, then what does it matter? Just improve it once. The gear skill, the gear move, you take one of these 2 cogs, pick them up, pop them onto your board, making sure that there's a complete section sitting in this shaded part. So this shaded section here, I'll show you on this one, this shaded section needs to have one full segment in it. So at the moment, you can see the line is in the middle of that segment. That's not a legal place to put my cog. I have to have it like that. So there's one reward in the shaded section. When you've got more cogs and actually you don't want to pick up a new cog, something that you can do instead, so let me just put my extra cogs down, is pick one cog up, rotate it and put it back down. So you can see on my bottom two cogs, they're both on a blank reward. So I could pick my cog up, rotate it and place it back down again. Another thing you can do is you can discard a cog and pick a new cog to replace it. So if you've got a full 3, you're not trapped to have those cogs forever. You can just replace them with one of the ones on the board. And the last action is to take your patronage benefit. Now, for the first 2 goes, because this is your turn tracker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. For the first 2 turns, you can only use this reward system here. And what you've got is you can take a new order, you can improve any skill of your choice by 1, you can take 3 coins, 3 guilders, or you can take 2 inks of your choice. As you progress, so say I was then on turn 3, if I met these requirements, if I had this skill up to level 4, and I had 2 blue inks I can hand in, then I can take this patronage card, pop my blue cube to show that's the action I chose, and these are worth 8 points at the end of the game. Once you have done your actions, you then can fulfill an order. Now your order cards look like these. So this part of the order card, you need to have the correct types, the correct letters. You don't use up your letters, you just have to have them. So I need an A, an I, and 2 U's. If I can complete that order, I get myself 5 coins, 5 guilders. On the decoration part of the order, I need to have a grey ink and I need to have binding level 3. But by having the grey ink, I get this reward here. And by having the binding level 3, I get this reward here. So for the grey ink, I gain 2 fame points. That's your point track around the edge. For binding level 3, I get 2 fame points, which again, the track around the edge. If I can do both of them, I also get 2 extra fame points. So there's a little extra reward at the bottom if you can do both things. So this card allows me to have a total of 5 coins and 6 fame points. When you're completing an order, say you have these 2 orders in your printing press and they both have an A in them. You would need to have 2 A's because they get fulfilled simultaneously. So you can only complete orders if you have the full correct requirements. You can't use them on one order and then use them on another. Your types, your letters, you always keep these. You don't have to get rid of these. Your skills, you always keep those. You don't have to drop your skills when you make an order. But your inks get used up. So they're the only thing that when you're completing a patron or completing an order, you use up the inks. So you tend to collect inks more than anything else in the game. And the last thing you do is you get set for the next round. So you can see I've taken a cog here. I've taken these inks. I've taken those order cards at the top and I've placed my counter here. So I need to reset everything. I bin all the old orders, bin all the old improvements, all the old inks, all the old cogs, and I get new ones from all of their piles. These don't get replenished, these stay for the whole game. But I need to move my blue marker back off that tracker. I move the turn up one. So the auto mod mode, you can play this when you're playing as one person. You can also add it for a 2 or 3 person game to get an extra player in. You don't just have to use it on a solo mode. Now the auto mod comes with an initiative board. They need 7 starting initiative tokens, and then you have these 2 decks here. One is very small, it's only 4 cards, and the other is only slightly bigger. So they start, they're the first player, and what happens is in the rulebook it shows you how to set up their board initially, and then each turn during the planning phase they reveal a plan card that will show you what to do with their their initiative tokens. So what that's telling you, let me pull up more, is that you need to move 1 token from the ink to the cog, move 1 token from the order to the cog, and then move 1 token from your maximum, your biggest line, to your smallest line. That middle one also shows you where to put your extra, where to take your extra cube from if there's a draw for this maximum or minimum. So say you had 2 lines that both had 5, or 2 lines that both had 3, it's not enough cubes for them to both have 5. You would take it from the patronage, or if you had 2 lines that both had 1 and you were trying to add a cube, you would add it to the patronage one. So it's a way of a tiebreaker, because you sometimes have the ink symbol in there. Okay, let's have a go. Before you start your first game, you need to have some orders to begin with. And what you have to do is set out your order cards so that you've got 6 of them out, and then set out 5 of your decorations. And you need to pick 2 combinations from this list of options. Now, I don't have enough room on the screen to show you this. So what I'm just going to quickly do is just do it down here. It's 6 minus 1 because of the auto mod, so I need to do 5. Okay. I don't think I've shuffled this deck very well. They're all 7 pointers. They're going to take me ages to fulfill. Deary me. Well, I'm going to commit. I'm going to be a determined Dimples. Let's take these 2, as they're very similar, so I can get the correct types for them. So you see how similar they are. They're both A, I, O, U, with an extra O, or an extra U, depending. And then I need 2 of these decorations, so I'm going to take that one, because it's really easy to complete. I just need to have level 1 in that skill. And I'm going to take this one, because again, try under this camera, I only need level 1 in this skill. So they'll be really easy to complete. Okay, let's combine these together. So these 2 are going to be my first order, and these 2 are going to be my second order. Okay, so I've got my first 2 orders selected. Usually when you pick those orders at the start of the game, you'd have all 6 or 7 or 8 set out. First player would pick the first combination, second player would pick the second, third would pick the third, and then you get to take a second order, but in reverse order. So whoever picked last then goes first, all the way back to the first player. So everyone's got 2 orders, and they've had a more equal chance of getting averagely good ones. When you play by yourself, you have option of all the orders. When you don't shuffle it very well, you have the option of all really hard orders. Yay! Oh, never mind. Right, so I need to get lots and lots of letters. To get letters, I need lots and lots of money. Thankfully, you get to start the game with 3 letters. So I'm going to start with an A, an I, and an O. So I need another O and another U. And another U. I need 3 more. And to do that, I have to buy them with my coins, with my guilders. It depends on what number type it is for how much it's going to cost. So you start with 3. The next one you buy is going to be your 4th one. So it's going to cost you 4 guilders. The next one after that is your 5th type. So it's 5 guilders. Then 6th type, 6 guilders, 7th type, 7 guilders, blah, 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 so and so. You can have as many guilders types as you want, as long as you can afford them. You start the game with 10 guilders, which means I can buy my 4th and my 5th type, because that's a total of 9 guilders. So I can buy 2 more straight away, and you can buy them at any time on your turn. So, doesn't count as an action. What I do need, however, is I need to improve this skill, and I need to improve this skill. So it doesn't actually matter for me which of these 2 cards I get. So I'm not going to stress about filling my initiative board up with lots of blocks in the speciality section, because it doesn't really matter to me. What I would like to get is a gold and a grey. So I really want to get this ink set. So I'm going to put 1 in each of these, and then all my remaining in my ink section, in the hope that I beat the auto player as they are the first. So I plan in secret, so the AI doesn't know what I'm doing. Sit around waiting for everybody to be done. Ooh. Reveal my board with my plan, which I'll put there so you can all see. So I've done just 1 in each of the 4 actions here, and then I've put 4 in my ink action. So this is where we're going to use the auto cards for the first time. So I have to follow these instructions. Yes, 1 cube from the order to the speciality section, 1 cube from the cog to the speciality section, and 1 cube from the maximum line to the minimum line. So I'm going to use their board, which is here. So I'm going to put 1 from the book to the speciality section, 1 from the cog to the speciality section, 1 from the maximum line, which is the speciality section, to the minimum. Now, both the book order and the cog have no cubes. They both class as the minimum. To decide which one I'm going to put it in, I look first here, if that's got any of them on there. Then here, which again doesn't, and then back to the top. So I'm going to put it back on the book order. And what it's asking me to do is, when we get to the patron section, I need to pick up a patron card if I can, which I can't, because it's only round 1. So that's their initiative board all set up. So now when I compare boards, I can see that we both have the same number for the order. So as the bot is first player, they go first. I have more ink, which means I go first. They have more in this speciality, so they go first. They don't have a cube in cogs, so they don't have a cog go. And we have the same for the patron. So again, they're first player, they go first. So once you've planned, it's now time to actually do. Now, the way that the bot works is they have their execution cards, they're called. Not gory, just how they execute their orders. Sounds much more medieval than it is. So they're going first with the book order. These are numbers 1 to 4. For every action, I draw the top card and then I reshuffle. So there's always 4 to draw from. I may as well take 3 and 4 out. Yeah, I don't need those. Because on the other side of this board, there's the 3 and 4 player mode. So you have an extra 2 orders, an extra 2 orders, an extra 2 of these, an extra 2 of these ink sets, and an extra 2 cogs. So basically, if you drew a 1, you would take this one. If you draw 2, you take this one. 3, you take the next one. 4, you take the next one. But I'm only on the 2-sider board, so I only really need 1 and 2. 1 means this, 2 means this. 1 means this, 2 means this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. And on this board, it means 1, 2. Oh, I would need 3 and 4 for those. So I'll only shuffle it in for the patron section. So let's give it a shuffle. They're going to pick their order. So they're going to have number 1. So they're going to remove this one from the game. And they're going to have number 1. So now it's my turn. So the only order I can take is this one. I'm going to combine those together. And they are now a new order next to my board. Oh, and you can just about see them. There they are. Yeah. Neat. Next is the ink section. I put all of my initiative into ink so I could go first. So I'm going to take from here because I need both a gold and a grey. So I need to spend, that one's free, that one's 1, that one's 2. So I need to spend 3 coins. Get 2 back. To take all 3 of those inks. So then they go, they remove all of the inks on the other side. They don't have to pay anything for it. Lucky. And then they've got more on the speciality section, so they pick first. Once again, I automate. And they're going to take number 2. So I will improve my bookbinding and also my inkwell. Now the only thing to show you before I start moving all these up is for number 2, for 2, 4, 5 and 6. So if you look at the Roman numerals for 2, 4, 5 and 6, you'll see there's a little arrow next to them. And that means once you get your first cube to that level, you can move your counter from here along. So this is where it goes when you hit level 2. This is where it goes when you hit level 4, 5, and then 6. And they just give you freebies. So it gives you a free ink, a free order, and a free type. Right, we've taken our speciality increase. So I've improved my bookbinding and my inkwell. Let's now take a improvement to our printing house. So I'll talk you through what the cogs are showing me. Hopefully I can hold it up there and you can see. Okay, so the reward section with the 2 squares, that means you can take any one type, so any one letter, and just trade it for another. In the same vein, the one with the 2 ink symbols means you can take any one ink and trade it for another ink. And then the one that says minimum with an arrow, that means you can improve your lowest skill. So either typesetting, woodworking, binding, or illuminating. I'm saying it lots so I remember. You can improve your lowest one of those by 1. If you have a tie, like I do, my typesetting and my woodworking are both 0, I'd be able to choose. So that's a really good cog, but only for that improvement. The swapping out ones can be helpful. This one means that you get, so the one with just the red ink means you get a red ink. The one with the red ink that goes to 2 blank inks means you can swap a red ink for 2 inks of your choice. And the other one says that any order you have that has a red ink symbol on it gives you 2 fame points. Orders with the red ink, but I have to have the red ink as well. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to turn it so that this reward section, the one that I want, is up first. And I'm going to pop it on my board. I love getting the cogs in. Once you have done your action with your gears, whether that's to take a new gear or to lift a gear up, rotate it and put it back down, you can then claim the rewards. So on this board, there's only one cog, so I can only get one reward, and it's the one that's in the shaded section, which is to improve one of my minimum skills. Now I need to have woodworking level 1 to complete this order. So I'm going to move my woodworking up 1. I then use one of these to show I have used that cog. They get to go first, and they've got number 4. So they take and cover this spot up, so I can't go in number 4. So now I get to pick my patron, and actually I'm left with a skill improvement or to buy have extra money. I need 9 gold, 9 guilders to buy the types for this order. So let's take 3 extra guilders, and then I'm going to spend them. You can spend them at any point on your turn. I'm going to spend 9 guilders to get a 4th and a 5th type. Get two U's. Okay. And the final bit is to fulfill an order. So I've only got enough letters to fulfill one. So I'm going to fulfill this one. So I've got the A, I, O, U and U, which means I get 7 guilders. It's brilliant. It's a great start. I can also actually complete all the decoration requirements. I have a gold ink, which I have to give in. And I also have the illuminating level 1. So it says illuminating with a symbol, and it's got a little 1 in the top corner. So I have that improvement, which means I get 2 fame points for the ink, 1 fame point for my speciality, and then I get an extra 2 fame points because I've completed both. So I get 5 points on the track. So turn's over, I reset the board, and then the first player token moves. When the first player token moves, the number of initiative tokens you're allowed to have also changes. So the first player is always 7, second player is 8, third player is 9, fourth player is 10. That's why they've included a little diagram of how to hand your initiative tokens over. Right, let's go. Let's go. Put that in my done pile. Now I need to decide what I want to get. First thing, however, turn my cog. I'll go all the way around to the next section. So this time I'm going to get to swap an ink for a different ink. I have all the letters I need for that one. I need loads more. I need another O to have them for that one. So I'm actually going to fulfill this bigger order because on this smaller one, it wants me to have typesetting level 4, which I'm not there yet. But this only needs woodworking level 1, which I have got. So I need an extra O, which is fine. That's just money. I have enough of that. I've got a grey ink already, so that's fine. I need a red and a gold ink for next turn, but there's a red and a gold, but none of them are together. So I'll take either ink, it doesn't matter. I want to have my pick of these. So I'm going to put extra points, extra cubes into picking an order. Let's put this back up here so you can see. So I put an extra one here into picking an order. And I guess it would be handy to pick the cog first as well. So now the auto mod sets in. So I need to move 1 cube from the cog to the ink 1 cube from the patron to the speciality and 1 cube from their maximum to their minimum. So cog to the ink, patron to speciality, maximum to the minimum, should then be cog. Looks much easier now. Okay, so I go first when picking the order because I have 2 and they only have 1. I'm also first player, so I beat any ties. I'm going to have this one because actually I'm filling these big orders quite well. But let's take this because it needs level 2 in binding and level 2 in woodworking. I currently have level 1 in binding and level 1 in woodworking, but look what's here. That'll get me to level 2 in both. Though he picks first, so he might bin it. Like the charming gentleman he is. Where were we? Inks. So they are going to get rid of number 1. Which means I get to choose from number 2. I only really need the red ink. But my cog, remember, it's on ink to ink, so I can change an ink for another one. So if I get an extra ink, if I get the blue, so if I spend 1 to get the red and the blue, because the red is free, I can swap that blue for a gold, which I'll be able to use later on. This one gets thrown away. Then he goes first on the specialities. Okay, please be a number 1. Please be a number 1. Oh, that's number 2. No! Okay. So I'm going to improve my book binding by 2. Now, because I've now passed that number 2 level, I get a bonus extra ink of my choice. So I'm going to have a gold. And then I get to go first with the cogs. I'm going to lift my cog up, rotate it, and place it back on improving that minimum skill. Because I don't really care for either of those 2 cogs, so I'm not going to pick one up. I then get to use my coggy power, which is improve my lowest skill, which is my typeface, my typewriting. And the cogs then disappear. Now, they don't have any points in patronage, so they're not going to have a go. They haven't got any cubes there. So I get to pick any of these. And this is where I'll make up for not being able to get that card earlier. So I will improve, I'll go here, which lets me improve a skill. And I'll improve my woodworking, like that. So I now have at least level 2 in woodworking and at least level 2 in binding. So I get to fulfill an order. Now, I can still buy more types if I need them. Now, I'm going to do this one. I need another I. Now this will be my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my 6th type. So I need to spend 6 guilders to get it, which actually only leaves me with 1. So I'm going to fulfill this order down here. I'll show it to you. I have all the correct letters. So I get 7 guilders from the bank. I can also complete the design section. So I've got a gold ink that I'll get rid of, and I've got level 2 in binding and level 2 in woodworking. So I'm going to get rid of my gold ink. So because I can do all of these, I get 2 fame points from the ink, 3 from the specialities, and then an extra 3 because I've done both. So I get 8 fame points. Sounds like a lot, then doesn't look like a lot. With 2 out of the 6 rounds each, I've got 13 points. I'm aiming for 150. There's not enough time. I've done everything. I've fulfilled an order. I'm now going to prepare for the next round. So I'm going to reset the board. There's nothing to clear, because I cleared as I went. It's the key to housework as well. Clear as you go. Oh, that's wrong. This is a really helpful order for me. You know how I was getting huge orders with lots of letters that I've only been able to complete one order a turn? What gets me the fame points are these, but I can't complete the decoration section unless I complete the letters section. So a small letter matched with a good decoration, I can bish bash bosh, get it out there, get some extra points. I just said bish bash bosh. What's that about? Apparently I'm now a television cook. Bish bash bosh, real good nosh. Oh, that's a good one as well. Can I have two? I want two sets of orders. So now that the turn tracker is above these patron cards, I don't just have to take one of these rewards. I can also claim this card. And I have to have 2 blue inks and level 4 woodworking to be able to claim this card. And I'd have to give up those blue inks. These cards are worth 8 each at the end. That's 32 points there. It's a big chunk of the way to getting me to over 100, which is what the solo mode apparently thinks you should be getting. But because the Autobot doesn't need to have the requirements, if their card shows a picture of the patron, I'm just going to have to bin this. Because I can't yet do it. I would need... Oh, actually, if I get this, then I can get that. Ah, right. Okay. Plan. I need to get this. So I'm going to put 2 in there. I'll show you what I'm doing. I've put 2 in this speciality section. And I need to get this. So I'm going to take 1 out of the cogs. I think I have enough inks. I have a grey. A grey and a red would do it. That's going to rotate, so that's fine. Okay, let's take out the gears and put that there. No, I was going to take out the inks, wasn't I? And put that there. I need to turn my gears, which means I can swap an ink for another ink. And then I just need to find out what my opponent is going to have in their initiative order this turn. And we're ready to go. So, oh, good, they don't have a patron card. I need to move 1 from the book order to the patron, 1 from the speciality to the cog, and the ink just shows that that's a tiebreaker if needed. So they're not going to even take an order. Perfect. Perfect. Right. I'm going to go first then, because I'm the only one picking an order. So I'm going to take this one, because I want to be able to complete 2 orders in this turn. I'm going to take this one because I can complete it. Right. Now, I'm not taking any inks, so that doesn't matter. We can just get rid of those. Now, I put 4 in the speciality section. Yes. They've got 2. So this. And now because I've got 2 cogs, I get 2 rewards. I'd improved. I'd got my extra ink. Picked up my cog, so I get an extra ink. So now I'm going to do my 2 rewards because I've got 2 cogs. So I cover 1. And then the other one is I can swap an ink for another ink. I need another red. So let's swap my gold that I just picked up for a red. Okay. And then the patron. So I have 2, they have 1, so I go first. I'm going to pick this up. I have 2 blues I can hand in. And I have level 4 woodwork. This just stays as end game points, but there we go, we've made another 8. Woohoo! Whoop, whoop. Okay, lovely. So now I fulfill orders. I'm going to spend a bit of money to hopefully let me fulfill 2. So I definitely can't complete 2 fully. So basically I can only complete these 2, but I haven't got typesetting level 4. So I'm missing out on 5 fame points. But it might just be good to clear those spaces, make some extra money, and hopefully fulfill more orders next turn, because I need to ramp up the level of fame points I'm getting each turn. So let's complete this one. I owe you. I've then got an A. I'm then going to spend 7 guilders to get another U. There we go. I'm going to give out 1 red and then a red and a gold ink. So I get 7 guilders back. I should have really just kept my 7. And then I complete this one. I don't complete the typesetting requirements, where I only get the fame points from the ink. I don't get the extra special bonus for doing both. So I get 4 from this card. And for this one, I have typeset level 1 and a red ink. So I get a 2, a 1 and a 2 because I did both. So that gets me an extra 5. 22. We are not getting there quick enough. We're on 22 plus 8. We're on 30. We're a 5th of the way. And we have half the turns left. That maths is not in my favour. Set for the next turn. So I need to get some more orders. I've currently got A, I, O, a U. I need another O. And I fill that. And I've got those. I'm going to turn my cogs. And this time I've got 2, so you actually get to see the magic. So we're going to do our cog turn. So we've got our 2 cogs here. And then I'm going to put it on big so I can actually see it from the screen. So the little symbol here means we have to turn it this way. And I just have to turn it 1... Oh, that's the wrong way. 1 full section round. And then I've got a new reward in this top cog. And I've got a new reward... Oh, where's my finger? I can't do it. There we go. Reward there. Now, I have enough guilders to buy a type. And my cog allows me to swap a type. Is that going to be enough? So here I need... So I've got A, I, O, U. I need 1 more O. No, it's not going to be enough. So I'm still only going to be able to complete 1 order. I'm not going to get these. I'm not going to get these points quick enough. Oh well. Right, let's focus on something else then. So I want to get this card. I need 3 binding and 4 woodworking, which I already have. So I definitely want to take this first. And I want to get... Guess it doesn't really matter which other cards I get. So let's put all of my points in the patron. And then 1 point in everything else. So I still get to do all the actions, but I have the highest patron, so I get to go here first. Okay, so let's go. I've got my planning done, so let's find out what the auto mod is going to do. So they're going to move their ink, one of the cubes on the ink to the cog, one of the cubes on the book order to the cog, and then they're going to move one from the maximum to the minimum. let's get going. So I am second player, which means I don't win any of the ties. So I'm only going to go first for the patron, which means you're probably going to clear out a lot of these spaces. So they're going to clear out number 1. And number 1. What I'm just going to do is bin all their things. Number 1. And then take all mine, because it doesn't influence me at all, because is there only one thing left for me to take? Number 2. And then I'll just see which cog they're going to bin. Number 2. Right. So I have to take this one. So I need a red and a gold. I need book binding 3 and woodworking 4, but I get loads of points. If I complete that one, I get 12 points in total, which is really good. I'm going to take... Now I need a red and a gold. So I do need all 3 of those. So I'm going to spend 3 money to take all 3. I need to improve... I'm going to improve my bookbinding and my typesetting. I'm going to take this cog. Do I want this cog? Yeah, I'll take this cog. It lets me improve my typesetting, which is... I like improving my specialities. And then I'm going to get all 3 of my rewards. So my first reward I'm going to do is improve my typesetting. So that's done. This one allows me to swap my gold for 2 other ink colours, which I may as well do because I don't actually need this gold right now. And it gives me... Because I can take any other 2 colours. Well, any 2 colours. I'll just take a gold back and say a blue. Trying to cheat the system. Then cover that one up. Now this one's one I need to think about because I can trade one type for another. Let's swap one of my U's for an O. Okay. And that's all of my rewards completed. So the final thing is the patron. Now I get to go first because I have 4 cubes in this rather than 1. Oh, he's got 2. So I'm going to claim this with 3 binding and 4 woodworking. That will give me an extra 8 points at the end. Okay, and now it's time to fulfill orders. I can only fulfill 1. I don't have enough types. So I'm going to fulfill this one with my letters. I need to give in a grey ink and I need to have woodworking level 1. So I'm only going to get a total of 5 fame. But it clears that order. And hopefully will give me more chance to do 2 orders next time. Let's reset. We're on turn 5. Only one more, the penultimate turn. Right. So I need to turn my cogs. I now have 3 cogs, so this is extra satisfying. Let's turn that a whole section. It wasn't working and I was about to be like, why is this not working? My thumb is stuck on one of the cogs so it couldn't move. That'll be why. There's a chance they'll bin this before I have a chance to get it. I don't think I'm going to have an opportunity to get it though, so I might not pick up those 8 points, unfortunately. Because my illuminating's only on level 1 and it needs to be on level 4. That'll only improve it by 1. That'll only improve it by 1. So it'll only get me to level 3. I could use that. But I couldn't do this and this on a turn. So it's only going to get to level... Oh, unless I get this cog, which improves my minimum by 1. So I could do that, that, and that. So I want to have a choice of the cog. Okay. Well, I am first player this time. So they're auto, see, if they get the patron first, which they will. Oh, they're gonna bin that card. No! So I need to move one from the ink to the speciality, one from the book order to the cog. So ink to the speciality, book order to the cog. Oh no, sorry, cog to the book order. Be the other way. Oh, they're gonna bin a patron card. No! Right. So they go first, then I go first, then they go first, then I go first, then they go first. So they're gonna start by taking an order. I really want order number 1, so hopefully this is a 2. Yes! Hey, Dimples. I really want order number 1. So hopefully this time it's a 2. Yes! Not cheating, I promise. Right. So I get this one. Then we are... Oh, yes. So what you can do if you don't have the right speciality card, that was it, we were here. If it doesn't have the one you want on it, instead of improving both of these, you can improve one of any skills. I'm going to improve my illuminating by 1. This is all in vain, I'd like to add. It's all in vain. So if it's all in vain, is there something different I can do? I'm not going to get this. So let's see if I can complete both of these. So I need an A. Oh, okay, so I just need an A. Oh, I can do that. So at the cog stage, instead of picking this up, oh, but you know, I will still pick this up because this is a good little one. I'm going to replace this middle cog with it so it's on this side, which means I can swap a type for a type. And then I'm going to swap my spare U for an A. I can then improve one of my lowest skill one. So illuminating is now on 3. And I get 2 fame points for every order that has this symbol where I can fulfill that requirement. So this says typecast level 2, and I have that, so I get 2 extra fame points. It's not enough. It's not enough. Now it's the patron. So because they are going first, and because on their card it says to bin the patron card, this is gonna go. Which makes me very sad because I can't now get those extra 8 points. So what I will do instead, in that case, yes, because there's no orders out. So I draw 2 printing cards and 2 refinement cards from the deck, choose one of each type, and then, yeah. So 2 of those, 2 of those, because I want to be able to complete 2 orders next turn. So let's take this one because it's really low level. And oh, that one needs 6. I can do that. I can do, but overall that one's better. Okay. And I'm going to take this one. So because if you look at these 2 that I had to choose from, the bottom one requires a higher level in woodworking. So gives initially more fame, but it doesn't give fame as its together bonus. So if you complete both sections of that card, you get an ink rather than more fame points. At this point, I'm just looking for more points. So even though the top one has a lower woodworking level needed and gives less initial points, because it has a bonus for completing both parts, I'm going to take that one. Basically, it gives 9 fame instead of 8. It's probably an easier way to have said it. Right. So I'm going to have done that as my patron. Okay, so we now need to fulfill orders. I am very excited because I can fulfill 2. This is, when I play this again, I need to make sure I have enough orders that I'm fulfilling 2 every time. I think that's the only way to get myself up to that 100 marker. I'm going to give in a red and a yellow. I have woodworking at level 4. I have binding level 3, so that's all done. And then this side, I have an I, an O, and a U. I'm going to give up a blue ink. And I need typewriting 2 and illuminate 2, which I have. So these are all completed, which means I get 8 gold, or guilders. And then for this card, I get a total of 8 fame points. And then for this card, I get a total of 12 fame points. That's 20. So we're going to reset the board for the final time. And then that goes to you. That one comes to me. Brilliant. Right, so for the final time, I need to turn my cogs. So let's do a bit of planning. Definitely need a second order to complete. I've got an A, 2 I's, an O, and a U. So I'm going to want that one. And I need a blue and a grey. Oh, okay, so I need a blue and a grey for this one. And then a yellow, a gold and a grey. But I do have my ink thing, which allows me to swap ink, so I don't think I need to worry so much about inks. As long as I get this card. So that's the card I want. Yep. But that one gives me 10 points and lets me improve a skill, so that'll be extra victory points at the end. But I need type level 5, which I could do if I did that. Currently it's on minimum. It won't be on minimum anymore if I set them both, but then I wouldn't be able to change the colour of the die. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that one. So I want to go for that one. So I definitely want to put lots of points in the order section. So I've put 3 there so far. If I do that, I shouldn't need any ink. So I can probably give another ink up there. That'll get me 2 extra. That would get me 5 extra. So I really want this one. So let's put that here. Oh, but I really want the patron. Oh, but I need 2. I can't complete that one. That's with 8. Okay, let's see. This is where we have to have a think. Possibly don't need that many. It's always trying to work out when you get to the end of the game, what's the way to make the most amount of final points. Right, so what is the Autobot going to do? So they are going to bin that patron card, so hopefully I've beat them in that Yes. Okay, so they're moving one out of the patron to the cog, one out of their book orders to the ink, which is perfect for me. Patron to the cog. Fabulous. So, I'm going to go first with the book order. Then they go first. I go first at the start and at the end. So I want this bit here. And I would like... it was this one I needed. Then they get to go first on which ink pile they're going to get rid of. So they're going to get rid of pile number 1. So let's spend 3 gold. Get all 3 of these. So then I didn't actually pick up. That was possibly a mistake. No, Dimples, that was definitely a mistake. That's some extra points you've just missed out on, but you've done it now. So instead of taking a cog, because they're going to bin one, but it doesn't matter, I'm going to pick this one up and rotate it for the ink swap side and lay it back down. So then actually 2 of my cogs say I can swap 1 ink for another colour. So I'm going to swap 1 gold for a red and 1 gold for a grey. Then I also... Oh, my 3rd cog doesn't. It's on a blank side, so it doesn't give me a reward. And finally, I go first on the Patreon card, so I'm going to use 2 red ink. I have 2 O's. And I'm going to gain this for an extra 8 points. I can also fulfill all of my orders, which is really exciting. So those will go on there, they'll go on there. I've got those inks, I've got that, and I've got that. So I get 7 extra guilders. And then this will give me 10 fame points, 442. And this will give me 9, 432. That's an extra 19. It means I'm going to go to 68. And that's us done. So to finish off, final scoring, the first thing you do is you add on the extra points for where what level your skills are at. So my woodworking and my binding are level 4, so they both get me 1 point, so I get 2 extra. Then you get 8 points for each of these cards, so I'm going to get 24. This is where you're like, I'm glad I just ended on 70 because I can add 24 very easily. Ooh, actually, that's 94. Hang on a second. And then 3 guilders is 1 victory point. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 7. Oh my goodness. Guys! Oh no, it's 22. And there's 7, 14, 21, 7, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 101. Yes! That means I am a senior student. I did it. I'm not a student no more. I am a senior student. Oh my goodness. Right, lovely people, I am going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go eat some food. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and a wonderful rest of your weekend. And if you want to see more board games played, we are going to be playing board games on a weekend. Next one I'm going to do is the Terraforming Mars solo. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays. And then I've also got one of the expansions for Castle Panic. I've got the one with the Wizard's Tower. So I'm going to look forward to showing you that on stream as well. and then hopefully getting a few new games to show you too. But for now, have a wonderful rest of your evening or daytime, because for some of you it's probably still the morning. And I hope that you're all well and have a lovely day. See you later, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for the follow as well. That was really kind. See you guys soon. Bye.